Ladies and gentlemen, we are now expecting the arrival of the MECs, and that will be followed by the arrival of the Queens. Thereafter, the arrival of the Premier of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which shall be followed by the arrival of His Majesty the King. We will then have the band performing the national anthem, and we would at that time request everybody to stand during the time that the national anthem is being played. The procession will then form and enter the chamber as led by the Sergeant at Arms. We are requesting the guests to get inside the marquee and assume their seats. Thank you. Distinguished guests, we are now having the MECs arriving, and we will thereafter have the arrival of the Queens, which shall be followed by the arrival of the Premier of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, followed by the arrival of His Majesty the King. Ladies and gentlemen, we are requesting all the guests to assume their seats and the members to assume their seats. The procession will be forming up to lead the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, His Majesty the King, the Premier, and they will come to the podium where the salute will be given, followed by the singing of the national anthem. At the time that the national anthem is sung, we shall request everyone to stand, and for everyone except the members of the South African Police to remove their hats. The procession is now on the red carpet.
Action, chair! Shoulder arms! General salute, present arms.
May we all rise.
Shoulder arms. National salute, present arms. Shoulder arms. Raid, round, order, mate. Raid will move to the right, right hand.
remain standing for the procession to be led into the chamber. Speaker.
Let's take this opportunity for a silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Please be seated. Honorable members, may I take this opportunity to welcome all members that are physically here and those on the virtual platform. His Majesty, King Misuzulu Dube-Ncube, Deputy Ministers, abantwana besifundazwe, speakers from other legislatures, those speakers from municipalities, mayors, leaders of traditional councils, secretaries of legislature and all government officials that are here, led by the Director General and all distinguished guests. Before we start, I will allow for a 5-minute photo session.
Just make it stand so that it gets hold of them. It doesn't move like that.
Thank you. Members of the media, you please, as you conclude, please make your way. Order. Honorable members, order. As part of order, Secretary, I am looking on both sides of the house. May you do something to attend to the level of temperatures in the benches of the members on both sides of the house. And those that are males, I will allow you to take off your coats at this time, and any member, whilst the Secretary tried to attend to that. Honorable members, now let's go back to business. The sitting today has been called in terms of Standing Rule 10(1)B, which provides an opportunity for the Premier to deliver the State of the Province address. In delivering the State of the Province address, the Premier will be using the teleprompter, which is located next to the main entrance of the chamber and facing the stage directly. Honorable members, I now present the Honorable Premier, Honorable Nomusa Dube-Ncube, to come forward to deliver the State of the Province address. Thank you. Secretary fits the sound both here and where the Honorable Premier is addressing. Service officers come forth and assist the Honorable Premier with the sound.
maybe Zogale, because it's fun. My apologies, Speaker. This one we won't hear. They had arranged the small one, which will be closer. Okay. We're only bringing it now.
I will allow the assistant to the Premier to come and put what the Office of the Premier had prepared for the Premier. But Chief of Staff, next time it must be done prior to the Premier coming inside. Eligible. Thank you.
Sorry? I'm going to switch it on now.
Apologies, Speaker.
Honorable Premier.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members. My apologies for that. They indicated that that mic was far from me, so it won't be heard. So that's why they organized the closer one. My apology. Madam Speaker, Honorable Boyce, the Deputy Speaker of the Legislature, Honorable Mthembu.
Speaker, can the Honorable Premier please
speak on record, and then I will recognize you. I haven't recognized you. Allow me. Honorable Twala, I will recognize you. I haven't recognized you. I first want to appeal to members of the public and our guests, especially those sitting in the first row just behind the HODs, to please do not participate in the proceedings of today because they have been doing that. I see that the Honorable Twala is standing up. What point are you raising on, Honorable Twala, so that I can speak to the Premier?
as the procedure, Speaker, please, if a member is rising on a point of order.
I do not know the time as
57-1.
Okay. May you sit down, Honorable Premier?
No, thanks, Honorable Speaker. Even though we have sound glitches, very serious with the ANC government, I was disappointed. That's what they did, the Moses Mapita. That's what they did, the Moses Mapita. The sound, the ANC, the steel, the university, the coalition, and against me. So, I'm rising on 57-1.
Which part of 57-1 are you rising on?
57-1A.
Thank you, Honorable Twala.
Thank you.
What is your point of order?
First and foremost, on the outset, Nzokala being an NDC or Sababa.
What is the point of order?
Has recognized the scene. That's how dishonest they are. We know leadership is difficult. But recognize pettiness, Stephen. Recognizes you as the only legitimate king. Then as I move, Speaker, on 57A also I want read along there on epics. It's 271. Speaker, there on 272, subsection 3G. Speaker, here in this house, today you are about to be addressed by a liar who went to the National Assembly unprovoked and lied as a delegate of this house. She went there. When she took podium, she announced that the president, Madame, did commit 1 billion for the flood victims. Speaker, she lied under oath. So today we cannot be addressed by a liar. We went there and lied. Our people are still wandering around. The flood victims, but it's all appointed by this government. Our people are still languishing. Emma Horns, the people of Phoenix, because in Sapopomala. But this honorable member goes to the National Assembly unprovoked, and she goes there to lie. So we cannot be addressed by a liar today. Who said she can go there and lie? We must observe this out and get the honorable premier to address this out. Not Nomusa Dube. Not Nomusa Dube. He's not going to address it today.
Take your seat, sir.
Thank you. Fix this one.
Take your seat, sir.
She must not address. She lied under oath.
Take your seat.
Attention.
Take your seat.
We are attending to
it
and wait for you to attend to her properly. So,
are you refusing to take the seat? Honorable Twana, Rule 272G is about deliberately giving false information or evidence or producing a false document or report to the House or any of its committees regarding material facts on an issue. You are saying that you are speaking about something that did not happen in this house. We have no way of verifying it. Your rule that you are raising, you may raise what you want to raise in the debate after she has presented the SOPA. She has not presented the SOPA. You are not going to be saying she's out of order. She is in order. Continue, Honorable Premier.
Thank you.
Honorable Ngubane, are you rising on what road? You can rise, both of you. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twana. Honorable Twana, sit down. Ngubane was up. I'm speaking to Honorable Ngubane. Sit down. We're not presiding the two of us. Honorable Ngubane, you were up. What are you rising on?
Speaker, ngiyabonga Speaker ukungirecognize, and I don't want us ukuthi sithethane kule ndlu njengabantu abangezilo.
What are you rising on?
No, Speaker, I'm rising 57-1. Number one, first and foremost, ufuna ukubingelela uchairperson weSANCO. The newly elected chairperson weSANCO.
Before you go there, yes. 57-1 is brought. Don't do this thing of wanting me to ask you which one of 57-1.
57-1A.
Okay? What is your point of order, say?
ngisukuma lapha ngokuthi umhlonishwa uthwala lapha ngoba sonke so honorable member la akekho honorable we-EFF nowe-DA nowe-ANC ngisukuma nokuthi ukweseka umhlonishwa uthwala ukuthi u-honorable premier did a say lapha e-National Assembly ngithi-ke i-suggestion akavele umhlonishwa uDuma kuyena odeliver le-state of the nation ngoba uyena umuntu esibanzi o-legitimate la.
I will pardon you because it's your first day as a member. You do not know that you do not second. Sit down.
No, speak on honestly. No, speak.
Sit down. Take your seat. Take your seat. Take
that is what I want to assess. Just 10 minutes.
Take your seat. Take your seat.
No, but I will also have to put a case.
Honorable Aluza, what are you raising? One deputy chief whip?
Honorable Speaker, I rise on Rule 57(1)A read with Rule 26(5)A. Honorable Speaker, there is a decorum that honorable members who have been given the responsibility of being whips in this house that they need to uphold. Honorable Twala is a whip of the EFF, and according to the rules of the house, he is supposed to be the one that guides and protects the integrity of this sitting. It can't then be that Honorable Twala, the whip of the EFF, is the one that deliberately disrupts the proceedings of this house. But equally, Speaker, when members of this house are refusing to adhere to your directive, do not be afraid, Somlomo, to invoke Rule 62 of the Standing Rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Whip. In terms of what we're raising of order, in terms of Rule 26, I hope that Honorable Twala had you. I hear that honorable members, when I was ruling on Honorable Ngubane, because they were shouting, they want me to repeat. Honorable members, you have full access to Hansard post the sitting. I have ruled on Honorable Ngubane.
He's lying.
And I just want, as caution, honorable members, I want honorable members, sit down, honorable, sit down, sit down, honorable Twala, sit down, sit down, honorable Twala, sit down, honorable Twala, sit down, honorable Twala. I am not going to exchange words with you anymore. I am not going to do that. Honorable members, because I can see that Honorable Twala wants us to take a different direction. We will not take that direction. Instead, we will remind honorable members in terms of Rule 80 of our standing rules, requires that a member raising a point of order must refer to the rule under which the point of order is raised. Honorable Twala has done that, Honorable Kaluza has done that. So we ruled on them because they raised it relevantly so in terms of how it is supposed to be ruled. So when honorable members again try to frivolously raise the point of order, we will invoke the rules regarding how do we deal with frivolous point of orders. Don't abuse point of orders, honorable members. I am now going back to the business of the day. Okay? You are raising, what are you raising, Honorable Twala? Give the mic to Honorable Twala.
Thank you, Speaker. President,
what are you raising?
The new chairperson.
What are you raising? What are you raising?
Speaker, 57, 1A, a point of order.
Okay.
And then on the very same 272, you must not be selective in your reading. That same section, 2723A, it speaks on that this honorable member, she cannot lie and mislead the people of South Africa. This honorable member here, she's a delegate of this house. Whatever she's saying, it's binding to this house.
Because he's lying.
So there's no into eti namhlanje uyasithula isiqhoko of being this member. Anywhere she addresses, we are going to hold them accountable. Then we cannot be addressed by a liar who went to the National Assembly and lied what are flood victims. Asesugile la at the Kelcon. Amanga anhlaza now. There's no Cyril and the ANC government vindicated noma elungise isimo salabantu bama floods. There's no 1 billion that was committed by this government. So this one she cannot address us today. She's a liar. She lied under oath. So today it's either it's us or her. That's going to happen. She's not going to address today. She is an honorable member. Anywhere she goes, she can't lie under oath. So in general, Speaker, I promise you, she is not going to address. It's either it's us who are going to address or her. But when a Speaker, you must remove this honorable member from the podium. We suspend this house and we get an honorable member to be sworn in as a premier. Always come among and mislead the public. Now Mutuma is red. There is always pretending as a premier. So can you please attend to such a speaker?
Thank you. Can you take the mic from the honorable member? Now that Honorable Kaula and Honorable Smelana voted you. Honorable members, I have respected Honorable Twala for the dignity of this day. Honorable Twala raised the rule of contempt, privilege and contempt. I responded to him because I was respecting him. In essence, honorable members and honorable Twala, the rule of contempt and privilege, you do not invoke it in a sitting, my honorable member. It's a rule that is invoked by the Speaker, and it is invoked through following an investigation. When you have an investigation, you want to say, if you are an honorable member yourself, you write to the Speaker. But because Honorable Twala was not raising the rules, he was frivolously using the rules to disrupt us. I am not going to take any further frivolous point of orders from Honorable Twala henceforth. Honorable Smelane, you may raise what you are raising, followed by Honorable Kaula. Thank you. I have noted in your hand, you can sit. I am going at some point, honorable members, to remind public order on their responsibility on members of the public that are disorderly, so that we cannot be disturbed by members who are invited as guests here today. Thank you. Honorable Snelane, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Somlomo.
What rule are you rising on?
I rise in terms of rules 1.1.c, which speaks to grossly disorderly conduct and a member repeatedly undermining the authority of the presiding officer. Somlomo, as Deputy Chief Whip indicated, in terms of Rule 62, once you have ruled, you have the right to actually make a decision. We are not going to allow Honorable Twala to come here and behave as if Ufana no Julius because we will prove we are deserve. We're not going to allow that. Let's act, Chair. If what they do the national, they go away with it, we are not going to allow it here. Thank you.
Honorable Kaula.
Angithokoze Somlomo Hloniphekile. Bengisukuma ku 57-1A.
No, Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala. Okay. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala, take your seats. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala, take your seats. Okay. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala, you have been allowed to raise your matters, and I have made rulings. In spite of my rulings, you continue to interrupt the sitting, and you are thus, Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane, showing contempt towards the sitting and are disregarding the authority of the presiding officer. And your conduct, Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala, is grossly disorderly. I therefore order that in accordance with Rule 62, Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane, I order you to sit down. Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane, I order you to sit down. Because Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala are refusing to sit down. In accordance with Rule 62, I order you to withdraw immediately from the chamber for the remainder of the day sitting. When I finalize with the matter, I will come to you, Honorable Member Delegate Luchuli. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala withdraw from the chamber from the remainder of the sitting. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala. Honorable Ngubane and Honorable Twala. Honorable Premier, you may take the podium.
Why are they not?
Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane, you are not withdrawing. I've requested, I've ordered you to withdraw from the House. I have ordered you to withdraw from the House, but if you persist, persist, honorable members. Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane.
The king said you're going to leave in 30 minutes if this thing doesn't stop.
Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane, I have ordered you to withdraw. Yeah. You did not withdraw from the house. Yeah. I am now invoking Rule 63.
That's what Cook is saying. Because
you are now suspended for a period of 2 days.
But tell her again. No, tell her again.
And you are ordered to leave the chamber immediately. Sergeant in arms, go and speak to Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane who are being disorderly now. Honorable Twala, you cannot touch the sergeant in arms in that fashion. You cannot touch the sergeant in arms in that fashion. Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane. Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane. What are they saying, sergeant in arms?
Nerusha.
What are they saying? Honorable Sergeant.
Tell Duma.
Sergeant in arms. What are they saying? Honorable members, you are not going to negotiate the ruling. You are disorderly, Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane, and we've ordered you to withdraw what you are doing. We ordered you to sit down, you refused. We ordered you to withdraw from the chambers, you refused. We went throughout the rules. Now I am suspending you.
Yeah.
Sergeant in arms, remove Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane from the legislature. Sergeant in arms, I have ordered that in terms of Rule 65(1), remove the Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane from the chamber and precincts henceforth. Sergeant in arms, are you removing the 2 members? Because with you, honorable members, in accordance then with Rule 65(2), I ask members of the Legislature Security Services to escort Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane out of the chamber now. Member of Legislature Security Services, escort Honorable Twala and Honorable Ngubane out of the chamber now.
Legislature security and sex. Honorable members, I suspend the House. South African Police Services come and receive the orderly people. The sitting is suspended for 10 minutes.
Is this thing off?
Actually, they wanted to get the same limelight like that.
Yeah. Is it off? What's your story, Wayne? What's your story?
Okay, that's it. Uzuvakala. Okay, let me switch off. I did read that chamber and precinct. I said chamber and precinct. I said chamber and precinct. That is my precinct. I don't want them there. I don't want them there. They must go out. Honorable Kuala and Honorable Malo, try to get your members of the house on both sides of the house back. Hey. Honorable Kuala and Honorable Numalo, get both sides back into the house. I say Asher. Order. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Honorable Premier, honorable members. Order. Go call him. No. Honorable members, we are now back to the house, and when we get the honorable members that are still standing back to their seats, we will continue with the business of the day. Honorable members. Secretary, if you can take your position. Honorable members, I may mistake you, Honorable Mayor, of being disorderly if you do not take your seat. Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip, get the mic to Honorable Numalo.
Sit. Sit, Sambi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
What rule?
I'm raising in terms of Rule 74, D and 2.
Okay. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I raise in terms of Rule 74, D and 2, starting from 1 says that a member may not make a reflection upon a member's integrity or dignity. And 2, a member may not verbally abuse another member in any way. I'm raising this, Honorable Speaker, taking to what has happened as you have made a ruling when the EFF was
was disrupting the House. The EFF have defied the Honorable Speaker, and the EFF have made a reflection on the integrity of the Honorable Premier. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we want to raise this rule to say the EFF, the Speaker must take an action to discipline the EFF by investigating what has happened. Number two, Speaker, is to say that we want to extend our apology to His Majesty the King, the manner in which this House has been compromised in terms of the decorum. Sithi sicela nje ukuxolisa kakhulu kubayede nendlunkulu ngakho konke okwenzekile, kodwa somlomo bengakuhle ukuthi kube khona inyathela akazosithatha azithathele iqembu le-EFF. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ngumalo, Honorable Chief Whip of the governing party, we will make a ruling in the next sitting on what you have raised, after we have looked into the rules and the application of them properly. But with that said, firstly, honorable members, the guests that are with us today, which amongst them is His Majesty the King, who had to be excused when the disorder was happening. But of course, Inkosi Undelu, who would be listening on behalf of the traditional and Khoisan leadership in the province, the former President of the Republic, the Minister and the Deputy Ministers that are here, as well as the leadership that comes from all walks of life. We sincerely apologize that we had to invoke Rule 6511. It is for the first time that we have ever been forced to invoke Rule 6511, and we do not take it lightly that we had to invoke that. We apologize. Parties will work in ensuring that the decorum is kept. Honorable Duma and Honorable Shabisa, we appreciate that when the House was going down, both other sides of the House, in the larger extent, kept the decorum. We apologize also because you have other meetings that you may have planned. I am referring to the leader of the governing party and the leader of the official opposition as the leader of the two sides of the House. Honorable Premier, we apologize, but you may now take the podium and continue.
Siyabonga, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Boyce, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mthembu, Hlangano Mhlabati, Silo Samabandla, siyabingelela indlunkulu yonke ekhona, abantwana basendlunkulu, siyabingelela kwaye umongameli wase South Africa, mhlonishwa Baba uJG Zuma, sihlalo wendlu yobuholi bomdabu and Khoisan KwaZulu Natal, Nkosi Ushinga. Siyafisa ukubingelela ngenkulu inhlonipho kuwona wonke amalungu esishayamthetho salapha KwaZulu Natal, Minister Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Mthethwa, Deputy Minister Jomo, former Premier Honorable Zikalala, Deputy Minister of Social Development Honorable Mokopane Zulu, Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition Honorable Gina, KwaZulu Natal Provincial Secretary of the African National Congress, Mr. Mtolo, members of the Provincial Executive Council, led by the Leader of Government Business, Honorable Mtombeni, members of the legislature, members of the National Council of Provinces, siyafisa ukubingelela kumajaji akhona lapha namhlanje, Judge Khadebe and other honorable justices that are present, Mkungundlovu District Mayor, Honorable Zuma, Msunduzi Mayor, Honorable Tebola, Mayor bonke bemkhandlu ehlukahlukene, kama district mayor, go local mayor, o speaker nama councillors wonke akhona. Siyafisa ukubingelela bonke o speaker abaphuma kuma provinces ahlukahlukene. Sibingelele Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and the whole team, members of the diplomatic corps, the Director General and all HODs, CEOs, Dr. Mkize, and all the teams in the legislature as well as in the provincial government, members of the Planning Commission, members of the business, labor, civil society, religious leaders, distinguished guests, mphakathi wonke okhona, abafundi bethu abakhona, is members of media, ladies and gentlemen. Okokuqala siyafisa ukudlulisa ukuxolisa kwethu okukhulu isilo samabandla ngangezwe lakhe kanye na yonke indlunkulu yakithi ngesenzo esithe senzakala lapha namhlanje. Sifisa ngaphandle kokunanaza ukusho ukuthi lokhu okwenzakalile kube ichilo kuthina sisonke siyisizwe kanye nakumhlaba wonke olalele nobukele lomsebenzi weshamthetho ekufanele ngabe siwenza ngokuzihlonipha kanye nokuhlonipha isizwe sonke. Siyafisa futhi kusho ukuthi somlomo siyabonga kwena nanoku chief whip nabaholi bezinhlangano njengoba usubashilo ukuthi lolu daba luzolandelelwa kakhulukazi uma ngabe kushiwo into engasilona iqiniso. Honorable members, similapha namhlanje ukuzothula inkulumo yesifundazwe saka 2023. Sizizwa sithobeke kakhulu okokuqala ku-African National Congress nakulesishaya mthetho esisi representayo lapha KwaZulu Natal. Umlando ubhaliwe ukuthi we serve our beloved province in this esteemed capacity. This is yet another noticeable achievement for the women of this province, all made possible by the African National Congress. In pursuit of South Africa, which is truly united, non-racial, non-sexist, equal, and prosperous. We thus stand here acutely conscious that those chosen by fate, pioneers, are also carry the duty to break the ceiling and throw open the gates of inequality so that more like us can come in and make the cycle of leadership even bigger and better in the service of the people who have entrusted us with the mandate to lead. Madam Speaker, we wish to, at this great moment, but also the moment of sadness, to mourn the passing of the retired judge, Judge Philip Levinson, who dedicated his life to upholding justice and the rule of law in South Africa. Justice Levinson was a champion of human rights and played an important role in South Africa's transition to democracy and served as the judge in KwaZulu-Natal division of the High Court. We remember him with his contribution to the fight for the recognition and the promotion of women judges to higher position in the judiciary. In 2013, Judge Levinson was awarded the Order of Baobab, thus in silver, by our government at the time. May his soul and those of other departed rest in peace. In 2022, the history was made as His Majesty the King Misuzulu Kazwelithini for the first time since his crowning officiated at this opening of the legislature. In 2022, we were first-hand witnesses to the history when it was made, when His Majesty ascended to the throne through Umkhosi Wokungena Esibayeni and the handing over of the certificate of recognition. His Majesty's presence here, accompanied by the Queen, abantwana basendlunkulu, amabutho, continues of this province as a testament of the tradition in which our reigning monarch plays as a leading role as we open our legislature. We are here to call for a crime summit against the horrific crimes in our province, including gender-based violence and femicide. Nathi sibabaza umhlola ngamahlazo enzeka esizweni sethu nangalezi izinto ezenzeka sibhekile emphakathini wethu. Sithembisa ukulula isandla singuhulumeni kuyo yonke imiphakathi ehlukumezekile nekhahlazekile, kakhulukazi hlangana lomhlabathi namakhosi asendlunkulu nomphakathi wonke. Sizibophezela ukuthi lo msebenzi isilo eshaye ikhwelo lokuthi fanele siubize, sizowubiza ngokusheshsha ukuze kudingidwe mayelana nokubulawa kwabantu, ubuholi, amakhosi, ama-councillors, izinduna nemiphakathi yethu lapha KwaZulu-Natal. It's at the time when the national mood, Honorable Speaker, is understandably gloomy in our country, depressed by a plethora of challenges. It is possible to miss the rainbow of hope in the distant horizon and to fall into temptation of caricaturing life as a dull, falling apart and depicting it as if it's beyond redemption. It is such moment of apprehension that we may regain our perspective to draw courage from the undeniable history of resilience of the people of our province, whose tenacity, fortitude have sustained generations in different epochs of strife and crisis. Our generation must notice the silver lining in the clouds and choose faith over anxiety about the common future we are carving today. Again, today and tomorrow, we must remain anchored in the oasis of faith so that the time we can reach the pinnacle of our dreams and fulfill the potential of all our people. Nempagati Agiti. Madam Speaker, our faith for a better tomorrow has been fortified by KwaZulu-Natal matric results, the class of 2022, which attained impressive 83% pass rate. And again, we say halala kubantwana bethu to the matric class of 22. They surpassed all the expectation. Siphinde sihalalisele labo abathe basibeka kwibalazwe njengalaba abathole i-Grammy Awards, uZakes Bantwini, uNomcebo Zikode, uVota Kellerman. Their success has nourished our hope for a better future and because their exploits of KwaZulu-Natal stand shoulder high above others in a number of Grammy Awards that have been won by this province. May we also doff our hats off to the internationally acclaimed actress and the daughter of Umsunduzi municipality, the award-winning Tusambedi, for her sterling performance in the 2022 Film Awards Woman King. And in our midst again, we also have our very own homegrown Dr. Thandeka Ngcobo, the CEO of Fuze Aviation Academy, who is accompanied by our graduates from this institution that we are working with to ensure that we nurture our future leaders. Fuze Aviation Academy trains disadvantaged youth into pilots, air traffic controllers, flight engineers, and cabin attendants. Njengoba sinabo lapha namhlanje, siyababongela ukuthi siyaziqhenya ngani ngoba sizishaya isifuba ukuthi nabantwana bethu basemalokishini, abantwana bethu basemakhaya, noma ngabe usuka endaweni yasemakhaya kangakanani, sesiyakwazi nathi ukuthi ngamakhono wethu esizalwe nawo sikwazi ukuthi sifike singene eindaweni nasemkhakheni ekwangacabangwa ukuthi umuntu omnyama uyokangene kuyona. Abantu bakwaZulu Natal badume ngokungalilahli ithemba, ngisho bebhekene nezitha ezisabekayo, baba yimbumba basiqonde isimo ababhekene naso kuhle kwamabutho esilo ucetshwayo enqoba impi yamangisi esandlwana. Izingqinamba ziyasihlanganisa kunokusihlukanisa. Siyathemba ukuthi nalabo abalahla ithemba namhlanje sizobavuselela ukuthi ikhona inhlansi enhle nekhanyayo ebonakalayo emva kwezikhathi ezinzima. The KwaZulu-Natal has witnessed the growth in the third quarter of 2022 of the economy and bouncing back from the doldrums of 0.4% in the second quarter contraction to the 0.9% expansion in the third quarter of 2022. KwaZulu-Natal unemployment of 30.6% was below the national average of 32.9% in the third quarter of 2022. And unfortunately, however, the province's expanded and unemployment remains the highest at 46.4%, as more and more people are discouraged of finding work opportunities. We remain resolute in our economic recalibration and reconstruction and recovery, which targets increasing the elements of investment in the infrastructure as well as in other areas that will grow our economy. Madam Speaker, our President captured the mood of the nation on the 9th of February when he delivered the State of the Nation address and defined South Africa's country which rises above adversity, capturing and igniting hope from the clutches of despair, no matter the odds, and we remain alive to the endless possibilities. Taking these prevailing factors into consideration, we delivered today's State of the Province address with the theme, taking decisive action in the time of renewal and hope as we rebuild a better, prosperous and resilient KwaZulu-Natal. The trials of the past 3 years forged us into a strong province, and we are accelerating the pace of economic development, the creation of jobs, the elimination of hunger and the suffering amongst the people of our province. The 2023 State of the Province address sets us apart or on path to our post-COVID-19, post-floods and post-unrest season with a concrete plan of program that will change the fortunes of our province. Ahead of our State of the Province, Madam Speaker, we call on our citizens who shared their sentiments about the state of the province. Amongst them is Siphamandla Nxumalo from Nongoma, who wants mechanization support for farmers. And siyajabula ukuthi Siphamandla namhlanje uzozithola impendulo zalokho obokhuluma ngakho kuhulumeni wakho. uGlenda wase-Glenwood ukhala ngobugebengu obudlangile ey'ndaweni zakithi ophinde benze ukuthi iy'mboni zingezi ukuzotshala kanye nokungcola kwey'ndawo zethu. uSihle Sithole waseThekwini is calling for investment in the green economy, while Zola Sishwili from KwaHlabisa requests the Premier to focus on jobs in the rural areas. A medical doctor was at Prince Mshieni Memorial Hospital expressed frustration with the conditions of our health facilities. Ngiyajabula ukusho lapha kudokotela wethu ukuthi namhlanje simila ungqongqoshe wezempilo siye sahamba saya naye lapha ePrince Mshieni Memorial Hospital kanye nongqongqoshe uMamkhoza nomama uFraser sasibonela ngokwethu isimo esimbi esisithole lapha ePrince Mshieni. Kodwa asicinanga ngokubuka ungqongqoshe uye waxosha labo basebenzi abekuyibona ebebenza ukuthi umsebenzi wesibhedlela ungahambi kahle. These voices also include those of our communities ezibongayo nezibonayo umsebenzi owenziwa uhulumeni wethu. They also celebrated a Christmas in decent accommodation and the following the state of the province from a dignified residences of Astra Building, Oflati, Entuzuma, Crystal Valley, King Edward Road, and Nalapa Escortville. Bonke laba babazisulu zezimvula nezikhukhula njengoba sikhuluma la basibukele emafletini wabo nasey'ndaweni zabo ezihloniphekile kulezi zindawo esengizibalile. Madam Speaker, in these sentiments and the aspirations and the lived day-to-day realities and the experiences of our people of our province, we also hear the anger and the frustration of our fellow citizens, where they want answers on the delayed projects. They want answers on the jobs. They want to know what is it that we are doing as this government. We are also attentive to the people with disabilities. We are attentive kuma farm workers, nama farm dwellers, ama military veterans, omama, nolusha, abafelokazi, bonke sibalalele kule mizwa abayishoyo abafuna ukubona izinto uhulumeni wabo ezenza. Namhlanje ke izinto esizokhuluma ngazo sizokhuluma amathuba omsebenzi kulusha lwalapha eKwaZulu Natal. Sikhulume ngokuthi zoqinisa kanjani ukulwa nobugebengu. Sikhulume ngokuthuthukisa umnotho. Sikhulume ngokulethwa kwezidingongqangi emphakathini nokulungiswa kwengqalasizinda. Sikhulume ngokwakha uhulumeni okwaziyo ukusebenzela abantu nohulumeni obeka abantu phambili noba kuqala. Madam Speaker, the President has declared a state of emergency on energy crisis in our country. And as a province, this is what we are going to be contributing. We are establishing, and we have already established, the KZN Energy War Room comprising government and strategic partners to oversee the province's electricity crisis. By the end of March 2023, KwaZulu-Natal will also appoint a panel of energy experts to coordinate all our efforts and help accelerate the implementation of this energy master plan. We are accelerating the rollout of the rooftop solar panels to households in the province in line with the pronouncement of the Minister of Finance. We are building standards that will also be reviewed to ensure that the new houses are fitted with energy-saving equipment. That is the standard for the RDP houses to be fitted with solar rooftop and geysers. Mobilizing imphakathi yethu towards using the energy efficient system and retrofitting the LED lighting systems, the solar heaters, and energy saving devices. The departments that we have directed the departments and government departments that we all need to use these energy saving technologies so as to ensure that we save on energy. All the departments have also been asked to ensure that we invest on the solar panels, and all departments and municipalities need to finalize their registers of water and sanitation infrastructure, our hospitals, clinics and schools that would be exempted from load shedding. And this also includes the energy security plan that will be facilitated, that will be exempted from the load shedding and from the grid. Zonke lezi zinto esizibalayo kumele ukuthi sheshise ukuthi lezi ndawo ezinjengesibhedlela, indawo eziphehla amanzi, indawo zamakliniki nezibhedlela kanye nama-police station, zindawo lezi okuzofanele ukuthi zingacishwa ugesi uma ngabe ucishwa kwezinye indawo. Sizoqhubeka ke nama-planned electricity connections out 25,000 this year. The household through the INEP grant from the Department of Minerals and Energy. The budget of 784 million has already been transferred to municipalities to ensure ukuthi balethela abantu bafakela abantu ugesi. Siyathemba ukuthi omasipala bazoyisebenzisa le mali ngendlela enikezwe ukuthi ilethele futhi ifakele abantu ugesi, hayi kwezinye izinto ezingalethelwanga ukuthi zilethele abantu intuthuko. Our metro is also at an advanced stage in implementing their own energy generation capacity, with the first phase covering the 400 megawatts and increasing to 2,000 megawatts by 2030. Madam Speaker, the abundance of sugar cane in our province gives this province a competitive edge to become a leader in biofuels, especially ethanol and the blended energy solutions. The province will use the Richards Bay IDZ to establish itself as an energy hub, and amongst the list of projects that are going to be implemented, and some of these projects are already rolling in the Richards Bay IDZ. Some of them are ESCOM 300 megawatts gas to power plant, Mabasa Energy and Fuels, Pagwe RBGP, NFE BGP gas supply, and all of these will contribute to the energy surplus of our province that will assist ourselves as well as our communities. A practical step is to ensure that our province plays a part in energy technology development, energy mix, battery storage implementation program. Siyajabula ukuthi KwaZulu-Natal ihlonzwe njengenye yama-province ezoqala umsebenzi, the first energy storage facility under ESCOM flagship battery storage system ebizwa ngokuthi BEARS project. This will be based in Elandscorp within Umsunduzi and Impendle local municipality in partnership with Eskom and Yosung Heavy Industries. This will have a capacity of 8 megawatts, equivalent of 32 megawatts per hour of distributed electricity, which is enough to power a small town even for 4 hours during the load shedding times. The tidal energy is also one area that we are also exploiting, and the next week the province will hold its webinar with the business industry, expert industries, in order to also add to the solutions that we've come with that will enable our province to ensure that we are not disrupted during the times of load shedding. Asizukubala ukuthi ubugebengu budlange kangakanani eindaweni zakithi, kakhulukazi ukuhlukumezwa kwabantu besifazane nezingane. Kubhlungu ukuthi iziteshi zethu neindawo zethu ezinjengeNanda, uMlazi, eNyanga, eWestern Cape nezinye zibalwa njengeindawo ezimbi kakhulu lapha eNingizimu Afrika ebugebengwini. We refuse to have our province defined as the rape and murder capital in South Africa. Clearly, we need to take action to stop the killing of ordinary citizens, our artists, amakhosi, induna, amakhansela nobuholi nje emphakathini with impunity. We refuse to live in the age of wanton criminality to be under any form of reign impunity. Yingakho siushayela ihlombe ulusha lwase-Ink, kakhulukazi endaweni zaboNtuzuma, kwaMashu, eNanda, asebezihlanganisile njengolusha ukulwa nobugebengu. Into enhle esithandayo ngalolusha alizange lihlale phansi luthi silindele uhulumeni, kepha livikela abantu besifazane, livikela odade wabo, oma wabo, imphakathi yabo, bengenayo ngisho inzuzo abayitholayo ngokwenza lokhu. Siyafisa ukusho kulusha lolu lase-Ink ukuthi njengohulumeni sithathe isinqumo, sisebenza nobuholi babo ukuthi sizongenelela ekubasizeni ngeinsiza ukuze ogogo njengoba benikela nje ukuthi laba abantu abasha bakwazi ukusebenza, nathi njengohulumeni sizonikela ekuthenini kwazi kuba nomfutho wokusebenza namandla wokuqeda ubugebengu. We call on the review of the regulation of the possessions of firearms as this province. We are saying njengalesi sifundazwe sicela uhulumeni wethu ke kubuyekezwe umthetho wabantu abanezibhamu, ngoba sibonile ukuthi even inhlamvu abantu bakwazi ukuyithola kalula, okugcina sekwenza ukuthi nalezo zibhamu zintshontshwe, zigcina sezenza umphakathi wakithi ukuthi ubulawe kuzona zonke indawo. Sicela futhi ukuthi uhulumeni wethu abhekisise izibhamu ngisho nalezi ezinama license, ngoba kukhona izitolo ezinikeza ama fake licenses nezibhamu ezingekho emthethweni, ekuyizona ekubonakala ukuthi izona ezigcina seyibulala imphakathi eminingi. Siyasakhuluma futhi nohulumeni wethu ukuthi siyafisa ukuthi uhulumeni akubhekisise ukusebenza kwamaphoyisa, kakhulukazi lamaphoyisa azimisele ukusebenza. Kukhona amanye amazambane angakwazi ukuthi asebenze ngokuthembeka nemphakathi yethu. For us to be able to win the war against crime, we will also boost on the ground following the passing parade the allocation of 1,800 police officers to the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We have transport as well. Ukuthi umnyango weze transport abuyise u-Operation Shanela uzoshanela isifundazwe sakithi ulwe nobugebengu bokutshontsha kwezimoto nokuhijackwa kwabantu bakithi. The province will progressively invest in technology and artificial intelligence to also deal with crime. These will include the CCTV cameras, the microchips to end the stock theft, and the strategy to deal with illegal liquor licenses and illegal trading of taverns. We will also mobilize businesses esifisayo ukuthi namabhizinisi ahlangabezane nathi njengohulumeni ekuletheni insiza zokusiza imphakathi efisa ukusebenzisana namaphoyisa ekulwisaneni nobugebengu. Our Executive Council has also approved the establishment of the Community Safety Intervention Unit that will focus on safety of Amakosi Induna. The MEC responsible will expand more during the budget votes on these matters. We will also strengthen the role of the community in the fight against crime by launching and training our street committees as well as the community policing forum. We will commence with the educational projects such as positive message on TV and radio, the dramas and workshops, as well as camps, the message that crime does not pay and that criminals do not be idealized. Each department in the province has also agreed that we will contribute 10 million towards the fight against crime, as well as the provincial entities, and this money will be utilized in buying cars for the police, but also for the police forums and the community safety teams. This money will also strengthen the camera system le esizoyifaka eindaweni ezihlukahlukene. Le mali izophinde futhi ifake nalabo gesi ekuthiwa o-Apollo abakhanya kakhulu bakwazi ukuthi igebengu zingaqashi emphakathini. Sizoqhubeka ke futhi nokwandisa umkhankaso wethu esawuqala lapha eNanda wokufaka ama-panic buttons that are linked to the police stations. And we are proposing that we recruit our customer service centers to the police stations, because sibonile ukuthi ama-cameras lawa esinawo awaka-Sanral awasebenzi ngokubambisana nama-camera womasipala, ngoba omasipala banawo ama-camera ko-local masipala, kodwa iy'moto ey'ntshentshayo noma igebengu uma sezifika ko-freeway ama-camera waka-Sanral awahlangene nalawa komasipala. Kusukela ngenyanga ezayo sizobe senza lo msebenzi wokuthi ama-cameras wonke, noba ngabe usemkhathini, noma ngabe ku-freeway, noba ngabe usemgaqweni, kodwa ama-camera ayakwazi ukubona izigebengu. We have also instructed the Department of Health that they must also work with the face recognition technology and biometrics, but also we have proposed that every man and woman between the ages of 15 and 65 must submit their DNA profiling, which will be used and accessed by SABC and the National Prosecuting Authority for crime investigation and prosecutions. Over and above this, the Department of Health is advanced with the establishment of our provincial DNA lab, which will also be utilized by the MPA and other law enforcement agencies, so that we don't have to wait for the DNAs that are taking long time. I wish also to point out our heartfelt condolences to the latest victims of gender-based violence and femicide, amongst others, intombazane yethu enhle esencane eneminyaka ewu7 uEmihle Nyawose waseMzumbe, who was sexually abused and brutally murdered. Kubhlungu kakhulu emndenini wakaEmihle, sithi noma kunje kodwa uhulumeni wenu uzohlale enani njalo, kodwa futhi siyazi ukuthi amaphoyisa aseqalile ukuzibopha lezi zigebengu ezizinonya kangaka. We have as well, honorable members, as the provincial gender machinery, we have also prioritized creating the gender-based violence and femicide-free society. We are strengthening the partnership with all the stakeholders, ama-NGOs esebenza nawo, anjengo KZN Network, which is the representatives of various communities, abahola abafana no Cookie Edwards, nabanye emphakathini yethu abazishoshovu ukulwisana nobugebengu nodlame olubhekiswe kubantu besifazane. Siyaqhubeka ke futhi nokuthi sibheke eindaweni kuma wards, kakhulukazi the ward-based gender-based violence rapid response teams that are integrated in the war rooms. We are coordinating the refurbishment of shelters, victims-friendly rooms, developing gender-based violence and femicide app, which has got panic buttons, and siyazi ukuthi bakhona abanye ababezisulu abakwazi ukuthi bawathole lama panic buttons, bawatholile ngonyaka odlule ngesikhathi siqala umkhankaso ngoNovember, abanye bawathola futhi ngoDisember. Ama panic button ahlanganiswe ne-app ekwaziyo ukuthi ishayele amaphoyisa, iphinde futhi ishayele ama-NGOs, bakwazi ukuthi nabasemphakathini babone ukuthi kukhona umuntu odinga usizo. Ubugebengu nophuzo oludakayo sibonile ukuthi nalo ludla lubi ekutheni lube nomthelela ekuhlukumezweni kwabantu nasekunukubezweni kwabantu besifazane kanye nezingane. Municipalities have been directed to urgently demolish the buildings with no owners so that we can take those over and be able to create parks for our communities and be able to reclaim our spaces. As the government, we have also ensured that we root out the corruption at all levels. The I Do Right campaign warns the stakeholders not to work with officials that are involved in corrupt activities like collusion with price fixing and making the state pay more for services ngoba befuna amantshontsho. Siyacela emphakathini wethu ukuthi asingakubekezeleli ukukhokha amantshontsho, kunalokho asizibike igebengu kunokuthi siqhubeke sihlukunyezwe ngabantu abafuna ukusetshenzelwa ngobugebengu bebe bengafuni ukuzisebenzela ngamandla wabo. Ngo-2019 to date, the value esesibe nayo ekufrizeni ama-assets walabo ababe involved ebugebengwini has increased to 397 million, with most high-value cases being dealt with by the SIU, the Special Tribunal, as well as the ordinary law enforcement agencies. We are products of revolutionaries, amongst them Abomama uWinnie Mandela, Abotata uMadiba, who at most difficult moments made the following statement, and I quote: "The time comes in the life of any nation when there remains only two choices, submit or fight." As Madiba commanded at the time, that the time has come now that we shall not submit, and we have no choice but to hit back and hit hard at criminals by all means and powers that we can as the community and the citizens of this province. In 2023, we are united in taking the battle of criminals, and with above decisive actions and interventions, we are determined to win this war decisively in order for us to grow our economy, but also to attract the investors in our province. Honorable members, we are capitalizing on the province's position on the maritime as a gateway of the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, as they are concluding the study for our maritime universities, which is very advanced. The institution will also address the current and the future needs of the maritime industry. The feasibility also proposes that the KZN Maritime University be established in Ugu District. Engagement with potential funders and current way and the future progress of the establishment of the university will be provided by the MEC of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. The Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs has also tasked Moses Kotane Institute to ensure that we are investing in the establishment of the Wealth Fund to be operational by 2023. The revenue made from the fund will provide the support to the province's expenditure, especially the infrastructural needs, to enhance the growth and development in the light of the shrinking provincial fiscus. As announced in the State of the Nation address, 4 districts have been identified for the cannabis industry. uThukela, uMzinyathi, uMgungundlovu, Herigwala. The Department of Agriculture has set aside 10 million for the support of the cannabis farmers. The Trade and Investment KwaZulu Natal plans to attract the Greenfields investment totaling 8.3 billion, which will create more than 3,182 jobs, while facilitating the Brownfields investment of more than 611 million, which will help retain more than 6,326 jobs. Trade and investment will generate a further 2.5 billion from foreign domestic investment and investors in our province. The Dube-Trade Port will also be creating more than 700 new permanent jobs and ensure that our investment grow in the Dube-Trade Port zone. The 57 million Future Life food processing facility, the 75 million LM diaper,
Honorable Dube.
Honorable members, with regards to Tonga Chulet, we also would like to say that we are making good progress. The SAPREF operations are on hold for an indefinite period while a decision is being made about the future of the plant. The DMRE and SAPRES and Shell have also facilitated various meetings in order to come with conclusions on the plan to resuscitate and explore options of what is required to bring the facility back to operations at SABC. The Newcastle and Ladysmith Special Economic Zones, the province also remains committed to the establishment of the textile as an economic special zones in Newcastle and Ladysmith, as well as the whole of the corridor moving down the N2 highway. Furthermore, the infrastructure development at the provincial industrial estate of Emandeni, Estebe, and Ezakeni alone will create more than 1,578 jobs opportunities during the last year, with a further 2,660 envisaged jobs by 2023. In the logistic hubs, our ambitious program, spearheaded by Transnet, to expand and refocus and streamline the functioning of the Port of Durban and Richards Bay, the KwaZulu-Natal Logistic Hub has moved into the phase of seeking to position the Port of Durban as an international container hub in order for us to attract the premier automotive industry in our ports. This program is also expected to attract investment of 140 billion into the ports over the next 10 years. In looking at how we are dealing with the youth unemployment, honorable members, nomphakathi wakithi, we remain one of the greatest provinces that is challenged with the youth unemployment. The repurposing of our KZN Youth Fund, our response to this challenge, and in April, we are responding practically to the youth unemployment. Ngoba sibonile ukuthi uma ngabe siwuhulumeni sikhuluma ngenhlelo ulusha olwazile ukuthi li-applyele imali we-youth fund, kodwa amanye ama-project awabi impumelelo. Ingakho sithathe isinqumo sokuthi i-youth unemployment fund yethu izoba targeted to izimakethe ulusha ozuyithola kuhulumeni. Kulonyaka kuzophinde kubekwe omunye futhi 100 million ozobenefita ulusha abazokwazi ukuthi ngalo bavule amabhizinisi wabo. Indlela ke okuzoqhutshekwa ngayo nesekwenzeke ngayo kuze kube imanje yile engizozama ukuyichaza kafushane. Amongst others, sisayine isivumelwane noSumitomo Dunlop to roll out what is called smart centers and cooperatives in the township and rural areas. Lama cooperatives will be fully owned by abantu abasha bazokwazi ukuthi bazakhela amabhizinisi wabo wokudayisa amathayi kanye namaspare weyimoto ebakwaziyo ukuthi bazoqala bafundiswe uDunlop ebese uhulumeni ebathengela ke yonke impahla uDunlop asizokwazi ukuthi sisebenze nawo ukuthi kuwona wonke ama-district abantu abasha abafuna ukungena kulomkhakha bazoqala ingakapheli inyanga kaJune. We are also repositioning the employment program to benefit young people and those over the age of 35. Asiyimi ku-age of 35. The Executive Council also resolved that each department, except for the front line, must prioritize i-budget yabo ukuthi lo 10 million omunye ozongezwa ukuthi umnyango nomnyango uma ngabe sikhuluma ngo-agriculture sifuna ukubona ukuthi ngalo 10 million bangaka abantu abasha abathengelwe ogandaganda, bangaka abantu abasha abathengelwe amaplazi, bangaka abantu abasha
abathengelwe imbewu, abathengelwe imfuyo, banikezwa neinsiza zokusebenza. Lokhu siyafisa ukuthi abantu abasha babe yingxenye yokubheka ukuthi ngabe siwuhulumeni siyakwenza yini lokhu. Ithana nalo lizoqhubeka nomsebenzi wayo lokunikezela ngosizo kosomabhizinisi abancane. Njengamanje sibonile u-Operation Vula uzoqhubeka. Siyafisa ukuzibophezela la emphakathini wethu. Niyokhumbula ukuthi u-Operation Vula uyewasiza abantu abaningi lapho besinikezela khona ngezinto zokusebenza. Abantu abafuna ukuba nama-car wash, abafuna ukuba nama-bakery, abafuna ukuthunga babe ney'nkampani zokuthunga nezinto ey'hlukahlukene. U-Operation Vula ke uzoqala ke usebenze sihamba nomthombeni ekunikezeni zonke imishini ekufanele ukuthi itholakale kuwona wonke ama-district. Abantu aba-aplayile be-aplayela u-Operation Vula siyeza njengohulumeni silethe iy'nsiza zenu. Umnyango waka-Etia uyaqhubeka ukusebenza nomnyango kazwelonke owakamama uGina ekutheni ukusizakala kwalaba ababizwa ngokuthi ngama-black industrialist kuyaqhubeka. Njengamanje maningi ama-black industrialist, kukhona abenza laba baka-plywood manufacturing abalaphayana kwaNongoma, abanye balaphaya kwi-hub yase-Escort, abanye benza laphaya kwi-fuel depot eMnambithi, abanye benza i-roofing material manufacturing plant eseThekwini. Siyaqhubeka-ke nokuthi amathuba omsebenzi esithe siyawenza ayenzeka. Iy'nkampani ney'mboni ey'ningi ezibalulwe laphaya yizona esizokwazi ukuthi siqhubezele ngazo usizo oluza kubantu. Olunye usizo esibone ukuthi kumele ukuthi siphuthume silulethe emphakathini yilolu lokuthi sitransforme le industry ekuthiwa i-gaming and betting, ngoba le industry isikhathi esiningi abantu bakithi abamnyama bebengakwazi ukuthi bangene kulowo mkhakha. Manje into esishoyo ukuthi njengohulumeni wabantu abamnyama sifuna ukubona abantu bakithi be-ownisha more than 45% kule mboni, ngoba imboni le ekwazi ukukhiqiza amathuba omsebenzi amaningi. Uma sikhuluma ngodaba lokulethwa kwengqalasizinda yamanzi, siyazi ukuthi indawo zakithi eziningi zinenkinga yamanzi. Njengamanje sesikwazile ukuthi uhlelo lokulethwa kwamanzi ey'ndaweni selufinyelela lapha ya ku-88% lapha kwisifundazwe saKwaZulu Natal. Ama-project amanye amakhulu esikhuluma ngawo la i-South Coast uphase 2, i-South Coast Pipeline elapha ya eKelso endaweni uMdoni, i-completion stage yakhona iwu-September 2022. Maphumulo plan upgrade, i-project yakhona iqala ngoMarch kulonyaka. Umshwathi bulk i-project yakhona uphase 4, 5 and 6 njengamanje uyaqhubeka. Inkontraka izobe ifinalizer ngoJune nango-October ku-2022, 2023 kulama phases angenhla. Ulowa uMkhomazi Dam nawo futhi ama-designs asephelile, sesilindele ukuthi uqale ukusebenza. Siwubonile umsebenzi omuhle wenziwa uNgqongqoshe wezamanzi kanye nokuthuthwa kwendle kwi-war room esebenzisana nomasipala ekutheni sixazulule iy'nkinga zamanzi. The project yase uMkhomazi izokwazi ukusiza laphaya kwi-district yasoGweni. I-Hazelmere Dam ukukhushulwa kodonga lakhona umongameli ukhulume ngakho laphaya enkulumeni yakhe, nakho futhi kuzosiza ekutheni umthamo walela damu ukwazi ukufinyelela ey'ndaweni ezihlukahlukene. I-Durban Heights neMolweni Akadak 1 niyibonile abanye ngoDisemba siyenza ukuthi isiqalile ukusebenza ne-aqueduct 2 nayo ezoqala ngoJune ukusebenza. Zonke lezi zinhlelo zihlose ukuthi zikwazi ukusiza inkinga esibhekene nawo yamanzi. Emva kweminyaka eminingi yokuhlupheka kwabantu bakithi eJozini, siyafisa ukubongela umphakathi wakithi kodwa nohulumeni ukuthi ukwazi ukusinikeza i-license yokuthi umasipala akwazi ukudonsa amanzi alapha ya eJozini Dam ukuze abantu bakithi babone bawathole amanzi ngokusheshsha. Njengamanje amaward Ward 3 namanye aseyahlomula already ohlelweni olenziwe oluzoqhubeka ukudonsa amanzi eJozini luwafake empompini ukuze abantu bakithi bathole amanzi okuphuza. UMzinyathi uthole imali engu-7.5 million ukuthi yenze ama-boreholes eNdumeni, eMvoti, eNquthu, eMsinga. eMkhanyakude bathole u-15 million wokuthi nabo benza ama-borehole awu-9 azokwenziwa eBig 5 Hlabisa. eMajuba nabo futhi bathole u-5.1 million for the completion of the reticulation ye-pipeline fittings nama-water meter chambers nama-valve kanye nama-house connection. eHerigwala bathole u-38 million wokuthi bafake amasola ngoba ama-borehole wethu amaningi sifuna asebenze ngamasola ukuze akwazi ukuthi angaphazamiseki uma ngabe kune-load shedding. Laphayana endaweni yase-Franklin i-abstraction works yakhona eBuhlebezwe eDr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma eGreater Kokstad eMzimkhulu komasipala. Bonke labo masipala bazohlomula kulolu hlelo esikhuluma ngalo. Ogwini u-15.3 million uzosetshenziswa lapha eSt Helena Rock Water Abstraction ukureplace amapayipi kanye nama-repairs akhona. U-20 million for i-upgrade yasemthavuna for i-raw water pipe system yakhona. Ebese kuthi laphaya endaweni yase-South Broom to ePort Edward nakhona futhi ezingolweni kwaXolo kwaNzimakwe eShobeni nakhona kukhona ama-projects azoba khona azoqhubeka ukuletha amanzi emphakathini. U-6.6 million uzothenga ama-water tank laphaya eMthavuna raw water pump station ukureplace also imshini ebesiphukile. eMgungundlovu nakhona u-10 million wama-borehole azoya laphaya eMshwathi, eMpendle nasempofana. eLembe kwaSonkombo nakhona naseNdwedwe nakhona futhi umsebenzi uyaqhubeka. eMhlathuze nakhona futhi implementing agent yethu iyaqhubeka nama-boreholes across all 4 municipalities kanjalo naseMkhanyakude. Siyaqhubeka ke nokuthi isifundazwe sethu singene kulomkhakha wokuxhakaxhaka ukuze nathi singabantu abamnyama sibhenefithe kukuxhakaxhaka kanye namakhono nomnotho olethwa yilobu buxhakaxhaka. Njengamanje will fast track the rollout of the broadband connectivity in KwaZulu-Natal. Our broadband phase 1 will cover 1,150 sites in the SA Connect phase 1 and nama sites out 3,000 telecommunication companies kanye namanye ama sites out 8,890 azothola ukuthi ama-hotspot ala eprovinsini yaKwaZulu-Natal. Siyafisa ukusho emphakathini ukuthi uzothi uphela unyaka indawo ezizobe zinama-Wi-Fi hotspot la KwaZulu-Natal zizobe ziwu-13,040. Ngikhuluma nani nje namhlanje kunale khadi leli elapha ematafuleni wenu. Asinawo umqingo omkhulu we-speech namhlanje. Sinike i-speech esiwuxhakaxhaka. Uzothatha nje ifoni yakho uyibeke phezu kwaleli khadi ispeech sakho uzosifunda efonini yakho. Noma ngabe usebenzisa ifoni ne-apple elihlephuliwe noma engahlephuliwe iyasebenza yonke indawo ifoni. Nogogo eyihlalele phambi kwe-TV yakhe abantwana sebabaphathele ogogo ukuze ogogo bakwazi ukufunda ngoba sikhona nesibhalwe ngisho nangolimi lamageba. Uhlelo lethu ke lokufundisa ulusha lethu ukuxhakaxhaka liyaqhubeka ngoba kunama-digital labs amaningi aseyakhiwe. Umhlonisho nje umthombeni ngesonto edlule kade laphaya e-Richards Bay eyovula enye kodwa endaweni e-Richards Bay e-Richards Bay kanye nase-Richmond eNdwedwe nakhona ama-digital center asekhona eHerigwala i-Techno Hub isikhona. Abantu abasha siyafisa ukuthi bahambe baye kulezi ndawo bayofundela ukusebenzisa ama-computer nokuxhakaxhaka babheke ama-application khona babheke nanoku-aplayela uxhaso lwabantu abasha ukuvula amabhizinisi. I-KZN Wildlife nayo futhi njenge-entity yethu izosebenzisa ukuxhakaxhaka obizwa ngokuthi i-remotely piloted aircraft system yokuthi bakwazi ukugada amapaki wethu kusizakale nemiphakathi ehlala endaweni eziseceleni kwamapaki ukuze nezilwane uma ngabe ziphumile zisheshe zitholakale zikwenza umonakalo emphakathini. Siyafisa ukusho ukuthi kulesikhathi samanje luningi kakhulu ulusha oselukwazi ukuthi lihlomule ngamakhono esiwaletha endaweni ezihlukahlukene ukufundisa ulusha ngamakhono khulukazi ulusha kuma-drones, kwi-Internet of Things, kuma-robotics ukuze bakwazi ukungena kulo mkhakha ngoba lo mkhakha siwuthanda ngoba noma ngabe umuntu omusha ungakwazanga ukuthi matric kodwa uyakwazi ukuthi uzifundele kulo mkhakha ngisho ibhizinisi lakho uma ngabe usufundisiwe. I-province yethu khona maduze kulonyaka ungakapheli uhalf wolonyaka sizoba ne-Olympic esibiza i-e-sport Olympic esizobe ngayo siqhakambisa amakhono olusha lwethu osolungene kulomkhakha obizwa e-sports. Recently sipilotile kwi-academy yethu and will introduce ama-drone training licenses and will move towards the smart province. Siyajabula futhi namhlanje ukuthi kulama-pilots akhona la abantu abasha nalabo abasafundela ukuba ngama-pilots bakhona abafundela nama-drone pilots bakhona futhi asebeqhashiwe. Siyajabula ukuthi lesi sikole sakafuze sinama-pilot njengamanje kulaba abahamba ngebhanoyi ekuthiwa ulift. Kunama-pilots awu-2 aphuma kulesi sikole sethu ashayela njengamanje lamabhanoyi mangabe nihamba na nibokwazi ukuthi lamabhanoyi ashayelwa ngabantwana benu Natal ngemali enikwe yilo hulumeni waKwaZulu Natal ulusha lwethu. Siyaqhubeka nomkhankaso ukuthi umnyango wezaka transport usize ekurepairing ingqala sizinda eyalimala ngenxa yezikhukhula. Ukuvalwa kwama-pothole emgaqweni yethu kuyinto ekufanele noma kanjani ekusebenzeni nomasipala nakusebenzeni nezinye inhlaka zomphakathi. Siyajabula ke ukuthi umnyango wezokuthutha ungqongqoshe usekwazile ukuthi enze uhlelo nabanye bomasipala ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi imali ingene kulabo masipala abanawo i-capacity yokuthi benze imigaqo ukuze eminye imigaqo kakhulukazi lesibonayo ilinyazwa nama-truck ikwazi ukuthi sheshe ilungiseke ukuze abantu bakithi bangangeni ezinkingeni naseyingozini ngenxa yemigaqo engalungile. Eminye imigaqo ezolungiswa iyona le ebhalwe lapha ngenhla P389, P189, P374, P395, P577, P164 kanye neminye iminyango imigaqo eminingi engengikwazi ukuyibala ngoba isabalele isifundazwe sethu sisonke. Lapha uma ngabe sibheka umsebenzi wethu obhekene nosizo ekufanele silinike umphakathi wethu, kube umphakathi uye waba nenkinga lapha endaweni yaseThekwini, kakhulukazi eMlazi kwaMnyandu nalapha kwaMashu neDal Bridge. Lo umsebenzi wokulungisa leya ndawo yakwaMnyandu yayikhahlamezwe ezikhukhula, njengamanje umsebenzi sewuqalile ukulungisa lo msebenzi. Uhlelo ke lokusebenza namaphoyisa kamasipala kanye namaphoyisa wesifundazwe uhlelo esifuna ukuthi lusheshe. Njengamanje sizibonile ingozi ezenzeke lapha uPhongola ezingasoze zakhohlakala empilweni zethu nasemphakathini lapha yakoFields Hill nakwezinye indawo. Ingakho namhlanje sishaye ikhwelo kuhulumeni wethu kazwelonke ukuthi sicela njengomphakathi waKwaZulu Natal nohulumeni ukuthi uphuzo lungabe lusavunyelwa uma uzoshayela imoto. We want our government to review and have a zero alcohol usage when you are driving. Alcohol has been mentioned as a common factor in our road fatalities. Sikubonile even nange lockdown ukuthi ama fatalities ancipha kangakanani ngesikhathi uphuzo luvaliwe. Ingakho sithi njengesifundazwe asikwazi ukuthi silokhu sibabazile, ake senze manje into ezosindisa impilo zabantu bakithi kanye nomphakathi. Ekugqugquzeleleni ukwakhiwa komnotho, kakhulukazi uma sibheka lapha emakhaya kanye nasemphakathini yethu, siyakhuluma la ngohlelo lokulethwa kwentuthuko emphakathini kanye nasemakhaya okuhlanganisa nokulethwa kokulungiswa kweindawo zokusebenzela abantu bakithi. I-procurement, we also saying wonke ama-government department yethu fanele i-procurement yabo ikwazi ukuthi ibe gender based or ibe gender biased in the line with our policy. Sifuna ukubona ama-veterans, sifuna ukubona abantu besifazane, sifuna ukubona ulusha lithola amathuba wokuthola amabhizinisi kahulumeni. Kodwa lokhu ngeke kwenzeke uma ngabe thina njengomphakathi sizohlala sigoqa izandla sithi singuhulumeni wabantu, sifuna abantu bakithi basibheke ukuthi ngabe lokho esithi siyakwenza na noma sikhuluma amampunge. Ezikoleni zethu njengamanje kunezikole ezenza lento ekuthiwa i-coding ne-robotics, njengamanje siyaqhubeka ke nezikole ezizoqhubeka nalomkhakha nalomsebenzi. Siyazi ukuthi la kwaZulu Natal abantwana abangena izikole kusukela ku grade 1 bawu 95%, ebese kuthi abaku-ECD babe ngo-97%. Abantwana balapha kwaZulu Natal abakwaziyo ukuthi bahlomule ngeskola transport balapha yaku-73,000 njengamanje ngaphezulu kwalokho. Ebese kuthi izikole ezihlomulayo ezikwazi abantwana bahlomulayo ngokuthi uhulumeni anikezele ukudla ezikoleni bawu 2.3 million lapha kwaZulu Natal. Abantwana bakwazi ukuthi kube khona abalala bedlile noma befike ezikoleni kungekho lutho emakhaya kodwa bakwazi ukuthi balale bedlile. Njengamanje umnyango wezemfundo uyaqhubeka nokuthi ama-toilets ezikoleni alungiswe. sitheke kumnyango wezemfundo asafuni lama toilet awumgodi amambi amnyama. Ungqongqoshe ke uye wazibophezela ukuthi sesifuna lawa ekuthiwa ashawayo nalawa azokwazi ukuthi asetshenzise lama chemicals akwaziyo ukuthi ahambise indle ngendlela yokuthi ayibeke bese iyakwazi ukuthi icollect mhlambe kabili noma kanye ngonyaka. Lokhu esikubona kwezinye indawo kusetshenziswa ukuze abantwana bethu babe nesidima ema toilet nezikole zethu zibe nesidima. Siyaqhubeka nenhlelo eziningi ke eminyangweni including i-maritime school eyakhiwe lapha njengamanje ku-2023 izobe ivulwa ne-ICT college nayo ngokunjalo. Umnyango uyaqhubeka nokuthi usebenze nomphakathi kanye nezikole ukuthi lezikole ezingasenabo abantwana siziguqule sizenze izikole ezizofundisa amakhono. Siyafisa ukubonga kakhulu kungqongqoshe ubaba uNzimande ngokuthi asivumele ukuthi sisebenzisane nomnyango wakhe ukuthi izikole emalokishini lezi ezingesenabo abantwana sisebenzisane nomnyango we-higher education ukuthi lezi zikole kube zikole zamakhono wolusha lethu olusebenzayo nolungasebenzi. Lapha ezibhedlela nakhona umnyango usungenele uhlelo oluhle ngendlela eyisimangaliso ngoba sibonile ukuthi abantu bakithi bama isikhathi esiningi kolayini belindele ukubonwa ezibhedlela. Ziningi izikhalo esitholile emphakathini ngeinhlelo ezingagculisi ezibhedlela wethu. Njengamanje umnyango uzoqala ngokuthi kulonyaka wakhe ama-clinic awu-11 ebese kuthi izibhedlela eziwu-4 ziguqulwe zibe ngama-regional hospitals. Ebese kuthi umnyango futhi uqhubeke nokwakha izibhedlela eziseqophelweni eliphambili njengalesiya i-Dr. Pixley ka-Isaka Seme elaphaya endaweni yakwa-Ink. We also celebrate iprovince yethu njenge-malaria free zone kodwa sinokusebenzisana kakhulu namazwe esakhelene nawo ukuthi nesikhathi silwa nokuthi singabi nawo umalaleveva ngapha kodwa laba abantu abasuka ngaphesheya komngcele uma befika ngapha sikwazi ukuthi silwisane nomalaleveva futhi nasey'ndaweni ezinjengomkhanya kude ezakhelene nemngcele nazo umnyango wezempilo usebenza ngokuzimisela ukuthi ungabi khona umalaria kuleza indawo. Umnyango ke uyaqaphelisa ukuthi kunenkinga esibhekene nayo enezifo eziqala manje ukuthi ziyaphakama ezinjengo-diabetes o-hypertension o-obesity no-heart disease. Kodwa okubuhlungu kakhulu yilokhu kokuthi sesibona ngisho isifo sendlala manje sidlanga emphakathini yethu. Yingakho uhulumeni kanye nomnyango sesiqale inhlelo esizokhuluma ngazo ezizokwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi siyalwisana nalezi zifo ezithathelanayo ezinye singakwazi ukuthi sigweme. Umnyango wezempilo uyaqhubeka nomkhankaso ukuthi senze uhlelo oluzoshintsha impilo zabantu. Uhlelo olubizwa ngokuthi i-health. Lo hlelo luzoqala khona maduze ngo-April. Kunabantu abasha abazoqashwa ngumnyango abazobe benza lo hlelo okuthiwa i-health. I-health izobe yenza ukuthi wonke amafayela ezibhedlela abe emakhompyutheni angabe saba amaphepha. Lokhu kwenzelwa ukuthi noma ngabe usuka kwamakhumulo uya eThekwini kodwa ukwazi ukulanda amaphilisi wakho noma kuphi ngoba ifayela lakho lizobe lilaphaya ku-computer futhi izokwazi ukuthi isibhedlela sikwazi ukuxhumana nesinye sikwazi futhi ukubheka amafayela abantu bakithi ukuze abantu bangalindi ikhathi abanye baze bangakwazi nokuthatha amaphilisi wabo ngenxa yokuthi mhlambe usekwenye indawo akakwazi ukufinyelela ukuyowathatha khona amaphilisi wakhe. Umnyango ke waka social development uyaqhubeka nokuthi usebenzisane nama NGOs. Siyafisa nje ukunxenxa ama NGOs anikeza uhulumeni imali ukuthi ake aseve abantu bakithi bonke ngaphandle kokucwasa ngoba imali enikezwa lama NGOs iphuma kuhulumeni. Manje uma ngabe besebenza sengathi benzela abantu bakithi ifavor akubi mnandi lokho ngoba umnyango njengamanje uspenda imali engaphezulu kuka 673 million allocate ama NGOs nama NPOs ukuthi balethe imisebenzi emphakathini. Siyafisa ke ukuthi sazise umphakathi wakithi ukuthi siyaqhubeka njengohulumeni ukulwisana nenkohlakalo kuhulumeni kanye nokulwisana nobuvila babanye babasebenzi. Abasebenzi bakahulumeni abazimiselayo ukusebenza nababambisanayo ekuletheni umsebenzi womphakathi siyafisa ukubanqoma nokubagqugquzela ukuthi baqhubeke nokusebenzela abantu ngoba okwabo akukhona ukuthi basebenzela bona kepha basebenzela uNkulunkulu imbala ekutheni balethe izidingo emphakathini oyidingayo. Siyaqhubeka kodwa futhi nokuthi labo abasebenzi abangasebenzi kahle bajeziswe njengamanje suhulumeni sesiqalile ukuthi uhlelo lokunciphiswa kwabasebenzi abaku suspension seluhambe ngendlela enhle kakhulu. Abanye bazobona bayazi futhi ukuthi abasebenzi either umuntu akakhishwa ku suspension noma uyaxoshwa mangabe kufanele aqoshwe noma uyaboshwa mangabe kufanele aboshwe. Kodwa asikwazi ukuthi ngakhona imali kahulumeni emoshakalayo abantu behlele emakhaya iminyaka emithathu emihlanu behleli bengenzi lutho ngenxa yokuthi ama disciplinaries awaqhubeki. Kodwa amanye ama disciplinaries edilewa ibona abasebenzi ngokwapostpone abanye benza ngabomu ngoba bengafuni ukuthi udaba lisheshe liqedwe. Sesitholile ke umongo wokufika esiphethelweni salodaba sithi nalabo abebecasha ngokupostpone ama disciplinaries sesifikile kubona. Umsebenzi esiwenzayo lokusebenza neminyango kahulumeni uyaqhubeka. Kakhulukazi kusebenza nomasipala. Siyajabula ukuthi uhulumeni wethu uyayiletha imali yokuthi omasipala basebenze. Njengamanje uhulumeni lo ohola ngukhongolose bakithi ngicela ukunikhumbuza u-MIG uMig lemali ethi uMig uhulumeni ukhiphe la kwaZulu Natal mhlonishwa 3.6 billion okhishwe la kwaZulu Natal wanikwa omasipala over the MTEF. Manje umphakathi fanele ubuze ukuthi iphi le mali. Uhulumeni ukhiphe imali kagesi engu480 million wayinikeza omasipala. Uhulumeni ukhiphe imali ewu228 million yaka RBG wayinikeza omasipala. Wakhipha imali ethi u940 million le ethiwa uMSIG wayinikeza omasipala. Over the MTEF uzobe uMSIG uWSIG ekhiphe u3 billion, uRBG ekhiphe u1 billion, uINEP lokagesi u1.4 billion, uIMG uMig uzobe ekhiphe 11.3 billion oye komasipala. Umbuzo ke uthi ngabe lezi imali sisebenzisa ngendlela okuyiyona na noma asisebenzisi ngendlela okuyiyona? manje ke sesijube umnyango wezezimali waka-treasury kanye nokhokta ukuthi cha akwenziwe ubulungiswa ngokuthi sibheke ukuthi ngabe omasipala imali bazisebenzisa ngakho yini imali zomphakathi noma umphakathi uzothi uhulumeni kaKhongolo sawusebenzi kodwa ibe imali iphumile yaya kohulumeni. U-operation pay on time siyaqhubuzela ukuthi uhulumeni ukhokhele abantu abenza amabhizinisi nohulumeni. Siyabacela abantu emphakathini uhulumeni uma ngabe engakhokheli sesizwile ngesihlava esikhona abanye abasebenzi bakahulumeni abangakhokha ama-invoice ngoba befuna amantshontsho. Sifuna ke baboshwe labo bantu. Sifuna ukuthi abantu emphakathini uma i-invoice yakho ingakhokhiwe within 30 days siyacela woza uzosho kuhulumeni noma ngabe muphi umnyango ongakhokhelile within 30 days woza uzositshela. Sifuna futhi ukuthi iminyango imonakale siqhubeka nomsebenzi omuhle wama-clean audits esikwazile ukuthi siwenze ngonyaka odlulile. Namanje siyaqhubeka ke njengokusho kaMongameli ukuthi kwakhiwa idolobha elisha leNingizimu Afrika entsha lapha ekuthiwa i-Post-Apartheid African Smart City involving the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu Natal, elaphaya under Ugu, Herigwala, OR Tambo ne-Alfred Nzo e-Eastern Cape. Idolobha elisha ke leli elizoba ubukhazikhazi besimanje manje umphakathi ozobuhlala laphayana ozohlomla kakhulu ngokuba khona kwaleli dolobha elisha. Izinhlaka zikahulumeni ziyasebenzisana ekutheni silethe ukwakhiwa kwezindlu emphakathini. Njengamanje maningi kakhulu ama-projects akhona okwakhiwa kwezindlu hlanganisa nokwakhiwa kwey'ndawo zasezakhiweni ukuthi zilungiswe. Siyabacela omasipala ukuthi iy'mali zokulungiswa kwey'ndawo zasezakhiweni lapho ekuthiwa khona kusemjondolo uhulumeni uyayikhipha imali yokuthi kufakwe ogesi kwakhiwa amaphaseji kulungiswe leziya y'ndawo ukuze abantu bakithi bahlale ey'ndaweni ezinesithunzi ngesikhathi besalinde ukuthi bakhelwe izindlu zabo zangempela. Uhlelo ke lokwakha kwezindlu kukhona lo hlelo olakhiwa kwezindlu oluhlanganisa abantu othola ukuthi akaqualify mhlawumbe ukuthola imali ebhenki akaqualify futhi ukuthi abe nesubsidy. Kulonyaka ke kuzoxhaswa kwakhiwe izindlu ezu-232 under lo hlelo laka-gap housing lalaba abantu abasizakala ngoba engakwazi ukuthola i-loan ebhenki engakwazi futhi uku-aplya ngala kwa-subsidy ukuthi basizakale nabo bakwazi ukuthola izindlu. Lo hlelo luzoba kulezi ndawo eThekwini eMlazi, eThekwini eMawoti, eMajuba eNewcastle, eBlaaubosch, eLembe kwaDukuza, eHyde Park, eMhlathuze eMpangeni. Yizo zonke indawo ezizongena ngaphansi kwalohlelo kuthiwa u-gap housing. Uhlelo lezindlu ekuthiwa olindela. Bantu bakithi kudala ehle kabuhlungu kolindela sithathile isinqumo njenge-cabinet ukuthi ungqongqoshe wezokuhlaliswa kwabantu akalithathe manje lo hlelo akaliphathe yena ngoba sibona ngathi mhlawumbe alihambi ngokushesha ngendlela ebesingathanda ukulibona lihamba ngokushesha ngakhona. Njengamanje ke sikhuluma nani nje uhlelo lwabantu abahlala laphaya eSouth bayakhelwa izindlu laphaya eSiphingo bakhelwa endaweni ekuthiwa kukaNkanku Road. Iproject yakhona enezindlu ezu-360 ezakhiwayo. Njengamanje infrastructure yakhona u-95%, izindlu ezu-130 already they are at various stages for abantu bolindela basesiphingo. Abantu babanye olindela njengamanje kakhulukazi abalaphaya eThekwini sinohlelo nabo lokuthi basheshe baphume kolindela bangene ezindlini okungenani noma bengakangeni ezindlini zabo ezipermanent kodwa bangene ezindlini ezinesithunzi nezindlu ezikwaziyo ukuthi bahlale kangcono kunenhlalo abayihlala njengamanje. Uhlelo lokwakhiwa kwe-government precinct liyaqhubeka abahlonishwa. Sibe nomhlangano obeyimpumelelo yokusebenzisana no-DBSA kanye nezinye inhlelo ekutheni lo hlelo lusheshe lwenzeke. So abahlonishwa abazothi alenzeki cha, sinobufakazi manje bokuthi luyaqhubeka luyenzeka. Olunye uhlelo oluzoqhubeka ngokushesha yilolu lokuthi abantu bakithi abalimayo uqhubeka uhulumeni balethele amalori azokwazi ukuthi athathe ukudla ayokudayisa bona bathole imali. Siyabagqugquzela ke abantu bakithi ukuthi ake silime bakithi ngoba uhulumeni kulonyaka uzosinika imbewu, asinike ogandaganda, asinikeze nabalimi abazosiza kwenzela ukuthi wonke umuntu alime. Lokhu kuhlanganisa ngisho abantu basemalokishini njengamanje endaweni yaseMbumbulu, endaweni yaseMlazi, endaweni yakwaMashu nakhona kuzoba nezingadi zomphakathi ngoba sifuna bonke abantu balime. Kodwa ngaphezulu kwalokho sifuna abantu mase belimile ukudla okunye sineyinhlelo nezitolo ezinjengoSpa, oCheckers, fruit and veg esikwaziyo ukuthi ukudla sikulande ngamalori kahulumeni singakukhokhishi ngisho nesenti, wena uthole imali yakho ephaketheni ukwazi ukuthi uqhubeke ulime. Njengamanje umnyango wezolimo uzosiza abalimi ukuthi bakwazi ukusizakala ngokuthi sibe nezinkambu zabantu bakithi okuzokwazi ukuthi izilwane zethu zibe nezinkambu lapho ezidla khona, kube nendawo zokuthi izilwane zabantu bakithi ziphuza amanzi, kube nendawo yamadip, kube nendawo futhi yokuthi mangabe kulinywa amasimi abantu bakithi akwazi ukuthi abiyelwe. Olunye uhlelo uhulumeni aza nalo elokureviva ama-abattoirs lapho abantu bakithi abazosizakala khona. Sitheke masinomhlangano ungqongqoshe okade phathiswe lo mnyango wayenomhlangano nabalimi abaningi abahlukahlukene. Sabacela abantu bakithi ukuthi ake siyekeni ukuba nemfuyo egcwele izinkalo zonke size sibize ngamagama iziguge kodwa kube kuguga imali. Ake sisebenzise lama-abattoirs azokwakhiwa ukuthi izinkomo zethu zihambe zekama-abattoirs thina sithola imali ukuze siqhubezele imfuyo yethu phambili sakhe umnotho waKwaZulu Natal. Uhlelo lokuthi emalokishini kuqoqwe udoti siphinde sakhe indawo lezi ekuthiwa ngama-recycling, nalo siyaqhubeka nalo. I-recycling economy iwuhlelo olubaluleke kakhulu emphakathini yethu. Yingakho nje kulonyaka uhlelo luzobhenefitha iTheku, uKingcetshwayo, amaJuba azobhenefitha ngalolu hlelo lokulethwa kwama-recycling nama-buyback centers. Uhlelo lokulungiswa kwamapaki nalo futhi siyaqhubeka nalo. Uhlelo olubizwa ngokuthi bounce back on tourism nalo futhi luhlelo esesibone ukuthi singakwazi ngalo ukubuyisela umnotho indlela owawungakhona ngaphambi kwe-COVID-19. Yingakho ke i-African Travel Indaba ka-2022 izoqhubeka kulonyaka ezobe nama-delegates aphuma emazweni amaningi angaphezu kuka-100 nakulonyaka. Ebese kuthi i-King Shaka International Airport njenge-airport ekhulayo esibona ikhula nayo futhi izokwazi kuba nomthelela ekwakhiweni kwamathuba omsebenzi. Enye imboni esibona ukuthi kubaluleka kakhulu ukuthi umphakathi wakithi uyazi futhi uphinde ungene kuyona imboni yamafilimu noma yokwenziwa kwamafilimu. Siyasebenzisana ke kakhulu nabemboni yamafilimu. Yingakho sijabula nje ukuthi lapho kwaZulu Natal sinabo Dube-Ncube, sinabo Zalo, sinabo ama-film productions amaningi. Njengamanje sitargethe ukuthi ama-production azokwenziwa awu-18. Kulama-production there are 6 projects that are funded and supported kulo nyaka. Lama production ke akha amathuba omsebenzi amaningi ngoba ngaphandle kokuthi baphinde bakhambise ngendawo zethu esinazo lapha kwaZulu Natal, baphinde futhi kube khona ababenefitayo kuma makeup, abathunga ingubo, abashuthayo, ababhalayo, abacaterishayo, namaningi nje amathuba abakhona uma ngabe lo mkhakha unyuka noma ukhuphuka umkhakha wezamafilimu. Kwi-industry yakwa sports, arts and culture nakhona siyafisa ukubonga kakhulu umnyango kazwelonke kaNgqongqoshe uNyamboza ukuthi sisebenzisane ngokuthi uhlelo onjengalolu lokuqhubezela kokwakhiwa kwendawo yethu lapha ya eNyokeni seliqalile, izoqedwa khona kulonyaka leya project ezokwazi ukuthi siyiqhenya kakhulu njengesifundazwe sakwaZulu Natal ngalowa mlando omuhle ngendlela eyisimanga. Omunye umsebenzi wokuthi abantu bakithi i-rural horse racing nayo futhi umnyango uyaxhasa kakhulu, umtelebhelo nawo uyakhuphuka kakhulu. Sesibonile nanokuthi lo ola eMgungundlovu usuze uzozama kule minyaka uzufinyelele ngisho ko July ngendlela izinga lakho lelinyuka kakhona, kanye nedandi futhi nayo siyayibona iyanyuka kakhulu izinga lakhona. Umnyango ke uzoqhubeka nokuthi imidlalo ibe khona kanye nemidlalo ezikoleni, abantwana baqhubeke nokuparticipate kwilena mass school participation kuma sports, kanye futhi nabantwana bethu basemakhaya nabo futhi. Umnyango ke sesithe awugxilise ukwakhiwa kwama-ground emalokishini kahle nasendaweni zasemakhaya. Ukwakhiwa kwama-ground ikhona okuzosiza abantwana bethu ukuthi baphume kwizidakamizwa, bangahlali nje bangenzi lutho uma ngabe kukhona ama-ground azofundisa ngisho namakhono. Kwi-social cohesion will also revitalize the Social Cohesion and Moral Regeneration Council in this year to advocate for social cohesion in our district as well as in our province. The invasion alien species, lo hlelo ebekade silithanda kakhulu simphakathi kulonyaka uhulumeni uzoliqala futhi lo hlelo lokuthi abantu bakwazi ukusizakala ekutheni kulungiswe imsele, kulungiswe indawo lapho okuthathwa khona abantu kwi-EPWP, kuqoshwe amaphepha, kulungiswe imfula, kulungiswe ney'ndawo zethu kuze ney'lwane zethu zingabe sezidla iy'tshalo okungafanele zizidle ebese kugcina sekunezifo ey'ningi. Luzoqhubeka ke lo hlelo kulonyaka, luzothatha futhi abantu abangaphezu kuka-7,000 abazothola amathuba omsebenzi kulonyaka. Both iReinkonyeni kanye nomsunduzi, uReinkonyeni uzoba no-450, umsunduzi 650 abazoparticipate kwi-pilot abazobenefita kulolu hlelo lwama-SMMEs azasupportwa under UNMISA project. Our record in fulfilling our 1990-22 commitments speaks for itself. We have weathered the storm of worst health crisis in human history. Despite the flare-ups of COVID-19 pandemic here, our province and our government has led the response to this unprecedented crisis that we have ever seen in our history. We salute the bravery and the sacrifices of our frontline workers, emergency personnel, our nurses, our police, our soldiers, our doctors, our cleaners, and general staff who helped the province to navigate the worst times during COVID-19, and sadly, they paid the ultimate price, some of them with their lives. And we are pleased that we have taken time off to be with us here today, and some of them are also listening to us virtually. Siyafisa ukuthi bonke labasebenzi abazinikele ngempilo zabo, abanye baze bashiya ihlobo zabo, abantwana babo ngempilo zabo, belwa ne-COVID-19 bevikela ezethu impilo. Bakhona la namhlanje odokotela nonesi nabo bonke abasebenzi, sicela sibashayele ihlombe namaphoyisa namasosha. When we were hit by the floods in KwaZulu-Natal, the ANC-led government was the first to respond to rescue our citizens, providing beyond reasonable doubt that this government is a caring government, that this government is best suited to the challenges of our times. Government supported the many families who lost their loved ones ngokuthi basizakale with the burials. They were assisted with the psychosocial support, they were supported with food, they were supported with their immediate needs. Government also eliminated more than 135 mass care centers and built a total of 1,810 temporary residential units. We also supplied 576 building material vouchers to those who chose that they were partially damaged and they wanted to build their own homes. And Madam Speaker, all the 4,700 displaced families, no one spent Christmas in a hall or in a mass care center. Ofakazi balokho ngimphakathi uqobo lwayo, akubona abantu abangazi ukuthi sikhuluma ngani. In 2023, the department will also commence the provision of permanent solutions in identified 13 land parcels to have flood victims that will be permanently housed. And siyajabula la, Madam Speaker, nabahlonishwa bonke nomphakathi wakithi ukuthi abanye abafuna ukubona oThomas abafuna ukubona ngamehlo bangaya lapha ya endaweni yase Reserve Hills bayibonele ogandaganda asebaqalile ukwenza ama site wezindlu eziyitezi ezizoba zinhle ngisho kunomakhelwane abantu bakithi abazohlala kuzona. Ungahamba uyibonela ubone ngamehlo uhulumeni kaKhongolose. With regards to the disrupted water supply, honorable members, honorable Rogers, we can say with uncertainty that the caring government of the ANC is back to full operation with major aqueducts and reservoirs that have been attended to these areas, including Utongati, Umlazi, Durban Heights water treatment plants. Namhlanje, Prince Mshieni Memorial nayo ikwazile nehamba nathi community nabo bakwazile ukureceive priority ukuthi bakwazi ukusizakala. Honorable members, most of the beaches are now open and water quality is being monitored on a weekly basis. The pump station, which impacted the northern and central beaches of Durban, has been repaired, and 2,200. We wish to assure honorable members of this House that during the Easter holidays, we will see eThekwini and KwaZulu-Natal bouncing back to its glory days of tourism, of being a Mecca in South Africa and in Africa. Angifuni honorable member ukusho ukuthi uma uthi ibhishi alikakasebenzi ngathi kwabanye abahlonishwa at least lele lethi ibhishi laphazamiswa zikhukhula. Angazi ke elaseKapa ukuthi lona laphazamiswa yini ngoba nawo avalwa ngenxa yokuthi kwakunenkinga. Kodwa sikompare la esikushoyo ukuthi sonke singohulumeni sisebenzela abantu bakithi ngokuthi izinsiza zabantu zifinyelele ngokusheshsha kuyona yonke imiphakathi. 107 have been completed across the province, and 23 others will be completed during the first quarter, while the 173 will undergo repair and renovation during the current financial year of rehabilitation of infrastructure and bridges in our province. We are also happy to report that the infrastructure that was also damaged, among others, were the N2 in Amanzimtoti and M4, R102 and R203. The department prioritized the 730 projects which needed urgent flood repair under Operation Siyazenzela. We are attending to affected gravel network areas under Amakosi. Siyafisa futhi ukusho ukuthi umnyango uyavuselela uhlelo lukaSiyazenzela, uhlelo likazibambele ukuthi umphakathi waseyindaweni ukwazi na ukubamba iqhaza kakhulukazi ekulungisweni kwemigaqo eindaweni zethu ukuze abantu bakithi banga-affecteki ngenxa yemigaqo engahambeki. This approach bore fruit in Ugu, Ilembe, Zululand, King Cetshwayo, Uthukela, and is now being moved to all districts through collaboration between the Department of Works, Department of Infrastructure, and the Department of Defense, who are working together on the project of building 24 Welisizwe bridges, Bailey bridges, in addition to the 7 vehicular bridges already being built. Kulo hlelo lama bridge ngiyafisa ukugcizelela ukuthi umhlonishwa ubaba uHlomuka usiqinisekisile ukuthi kulo hlelo noma i-research eyenziwe yokuthi mangaki ama-bridge noma abantwana bethu abanenkinga ngokuthi bawele emfuleni kulo nyaka, sizokwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi ayaqalwa lawo ma-bridge ezosiza abantwana bethu ukuthi mangabe beya ezikoleni bangabi nenkinga yokungakwazi ukuwela noma bakhumule ingubo ngenxa yokuthi fanele bahambe emfuleni. Ezinye inhlelo lezi ezizongena ngaphansi kohlelo lakawelisizwe kanye nohlelo lolu lama bridges umnyango okhuluma ngawo. Most businesses that were affected by the floods have now are nearing completion, but also those that were affected by COVID-19 are also back to business, including Lapaya, Kwamashu, Brick City, Idindale, Pietermaritzburg, Springfield, Nakona, Nase Brick City. They have also reopened. Elembe, the rebuilding of Mandeli Industrial Estate is also in progress, and most of the affected malls and centers across the district have reopened, including Kwaduguza Mall. In King Cetshwayo, most businesses have also long resumed operations, and the situation is normalized as Kawini Mall, as Kaleni Township is expected to open in June, and in Zululand, Kwanongoma, which was also mostly affected, almost the affected shops and malls are now operational, and in Mkanyagu, the malls and shopping center and the district are currently operational, and temporarily the displaced workers are now back to work. Umgungundovu district, the reconstruction of Brookside Mall at a cost of 130 million has created more than 200 construction jobs and 200 permanent jobs, and the rebuilding of Edendale Mall at the cost of 213 million has already commenced, and the key anniversaries of 2023, Madam Speaker, freedom lovers, we continue to draw inspiration from the exemplary leadership and leaders and the bravery of our warriors in the battle as we prepare for the road ahead. Madam Speaker, we know that there are prophets of doom, and we want to say to all our communities la nomphakathi wethu nabahlonishwa ukuthi we will prove those prophets of doom that the ANC is a caring government. We will also ensure that the commitments that we have made here, our communities will measure us and we will surpass those commitments. The key anniversaries that will be punctuated for 2023 is the year that will begin on the 5th of December. It will be 10 years since the passing of the democratically elected President Nelson Mandela. Incidentally, it will also be 5 years since we laid to rest the mortal remains of Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. In this SOPA, we promise to keep the legacy and the flame of their vision burning. It is a year that marks the 150 years in the birth of the phenomenal and the pioneering woman, uMama uNokuthela Dube, the first wife of Dr. John Langalibalele Dube. This year marks the centenary birthday of an outstanding stalwart of our liberation. Siyajabula namhlanje ukuthi abazukulwane bakaMama uNokuthela bakhona banathi lapha. The stalwarts of our liberation, Moses Mncane Mabhida, will also be commemorated. We will also mark the centenaries of the birth of our renowned authors Nadine Gordimer as well as Block Modisane. 120 years in 1903, our stalwart H.A.I. Idlomo was born, and in the same year, Reverend John Langalibalele Dube Umafukuzele founded Ilanga lase Natal. This is a year to commemorate 50 years of the formation of the United Democratic Movement, which was led by both Archie Gumede and Albert Susulu and many of our leaders. This year will be celebrated the 50-year anniversary of the 1973 Durban strike, which marked the emergence of the new wave of independent, non-racial trade unions, Izinyunyana Zabasebenzi, Ubumbano Labasebenzi. This led to the formation in 1979 of the Federation of South African Trade Unions, FOSATU, and the Congress of South African Trade Union, COSATU, in 1985. These anniversaries are reminders to all of us that our freedom was not free, but that it was long and often posed with risk of death. Njengoba abanye sebecabanga ukuthi lenkululeko sayithola nge-trade. Successive generations like ours, we owe a great deal of debt and endless gratitude to many who bought their lives, and the acts of selflessness, sacrifice, and many of them were never even councillors. Many of them were never even members of parliament, or they never assumed any leadership role, but they sacrificed with their bloods. Abantwana babo baba zintandane, basala bafelokazi. Namhlanje kufanele sazi ukuthi thina esikhona njengamanje laba aba igazi labo elaphalala alingabe ukuthi laphalalela ize. Madam Speaker, we have used this address to craft the detail of a people whose resilience, tenacity will lift them from the ashes of war and destruction, whose hard work and selflessness, dedication will help lead the revolution of growth and development that is much needed in KwaZulu-Natal. We are a society toughened in the fires of adversity. And as you would have seen this morning, and through it all, we have emerged even stronger. We have risen and are renewed to make a decisive action in recovering the lost ground caused by the triple tragedies whose footprints are still visible in the nook and cranny of our province. In this state of the province, we have outlined decisive actions that will help us usher the great times ahead, and we are not broken by challenges because we are women and men in the arena of bringing a better life for all our people. We are not shaken by izimo esihlangabezana nazo njengalobuholi nabantu abahola abantu kulesi sifundazwe okwethu ukuthi sipikelele phambili noma ngabe umqansa ungakanani ngoba abantu bakithi bafuna ukubona impilo engcono. Okuhle nokungcono ukuthi abantu bakithi sebeqalile ukulibona ilanga liphuma, sebeqalile ukubona ukuthi ngempela lama mpungo ashiwayo ukuthi uhulumeni kaKhongolose awenzi lutho ngempela kungamampunge lokho. We are determined to play our part with all stakeholders to create a KwaZulu-Natal of our dreams where all children will place under the sun. And this in the State of the Province address, honorable members, nomphakathi wakithi ohloniphekile, sibheke sabalula izinto ezibambekalayo esizozenza njengalo hulumeni kaKhongolose ukwenza impilo zabantu futhi ukwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi simuva phambili noma ngabe abanye bayasivimba endleleni kodwa sinqole emasondosondo engeke ivimbeke. We are not broken by challenges. Madam Speaker, we are not broken because we are women and men in this arena of bringing a better life for all our people. We are inspired by the words of Theodore Roosevelt, and I quote, "It is not the critics who count, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could not have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, by sweat, by blood, for strives variety, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without an error or shortcoming, but whose the great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spent himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows the end, the triumph of a high achievement, and who at worst is he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. So is the place, shall never be with those cold, timid souls who neither their victory nor defeat." Madam Speaker, amazwi lawa ashiwo ubuhlakani bokuthi siyazi ukuthi kulula kulabo abangenzi lutho ukuthi bagxeke, kulula kulabo abangazi ukuthi mawungene ebhodweni elishisayo kufanele usebenze kanjani. Siyazi ukuthi kuzoba khona izigaba lapho sizokwenza khona amaphutha, kuzoba khona izigameko lapho esizophinda khona siphinde senze kangcono lapho esingenzanga khona kangcono. Kodwa iqiniso elimsulwa lithi ekugcineni sizophumelela ngoba singabantu abathanda ukusebenzela umphakathi ngale kokufuna ukunconywa njengenqola emasondosondo. In this address, we have tabled the roadmap, measured our progress against the previous year's undertakings while charting a detailed implementation plan to take us on the path forward. Every policy, announcement, plan, program in this address has at the heart a growth and development of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Singabantu abangayilahli imbeleko ngokufelwa. Ngenxa yokwazi ukuthi kunalokho sibeka ethala ngenxa yethemba lokuthi sisazomthola omunye umntwana esizombeletha ngayo lembeleko. Ingakho sithi kubantu bakaZulu Natal sizowubeletha umphakathi wethu njengalokhongolose, sizoyiwela imfula igcwele, sizonqoba nalapho ekufanele sinqobe khona. Ziningi izingqinamba esizobhekana nazo, kodwa sizozinqoba ngoba siyisizwe esiyimbumba nesikwaziyo ukuthi nenqanawe iboshelwa kanjani. Izinselelo ziyasihlanganisa kunokuthi zisihlukanise. Abantu bakwaZulu Natal badume ngokungalilahli ithemba. Siyafisa ukuthi uma ngabe bengalilahli ithemba kodwa bebazi ukuthi sizokwenza izinto zenzeke njengalohulumeni kaKhongolose. Kulesi sikhathi siyafisa ukubonga kakhulu inhlangano kaKhongolose uwonkana kusukela kuzwelonke kuya kwisifundazwe sami salapha kwaZulu Natal esiholwa ngumthombeni kanye nodlangamandla naso sonke isigungu esiphezulu. Siyafisa ukubonga kakhulu ubuholi bonke bale legislature ngomsebenzi abawenzayo bokuthi basixhase nokusilekelela nokuthi uma ngabe khona amaphutha basitshele ukuze silungise lapho esifanele silungise khona. Ngiyafisa ukubonga ama-members we-Executive Council, members the executive, ama-MECs wonke akholwa ngumthombeni u-leader of government business for all your role in making sure that lokhu esikwenzayo nesikubikayo lapha namhlanje kuzoba inqubekela phambili futhi kuzophumelela konke. I also wish to thank all the honorable members, including the leaders of the opposition parties, because without your contribution towards our leadership does not go unnoticed, Honorable Shabisa. Yes, Honorable Rogers, how? Honorable Rogers, siyabonga mhlekazi ngomsebenzi wakho wokusixhasa mangabe senza umsebenzi wesizwe. Siyabonga kuona wonke inhlangano, all political parties, for all your support in the legislature, in your committees, for making sure that our work does not go unchecked. I also wish to thank the office of the Premier under the leadership of the Director General Dr. Mkhize, Uimbogodo Dr. Mkhize, nalo lonke ithimba lakho lo HOD. Ngaphandle komsebenzi wenu ezo HOD no CEO nabo bonke abasebenzi kahulumeni, ngabe lezi ezinye izinto sizishoyo aziphumelelanga. Siyazi ukuthi asikakafinyeleli lapho ekufanele sifinyelele khona. Ingakho Dr. Mkhize nabo HOD sisazosifaka isiswebu. All the heads of department, members of the staff of the provincial government, departments, for your hard work does not go unnoticed. I also wish to thank all my colleagues, my comrades, my friends, and all our communities for all the sacrifices that you've made, but also ngokusibekezela kwenu emsebenzini esiwenzayo njengalo hulumeni oholwa nguKhongolose. Lastly, and certainly not the least, may I also express my deep gratitude to the members of my family for their unending support, for their understanding, and the sacrifice. Kakhulukazi to Bonnie and Sisi and Renelo and Luntu. Okuyibona abasebancane kakhulu. My 5-year-old twins. For your understanding sometimes and not so understanding. And for my sister uMamkhulu, I really wish to thank you from the deep of my soul for your unending support. Ngaphandle koxhaso lwenu angilutho. Emphakathini wonke imkhuleko enisinikeza yona siyabonga kakhulu. SikwaZulu Natal silokhongolose asoze sandumaza. Madam Speaker, honorable members, siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. Thank you, Honorable Premier. May I now call the Secretary, Madam Secretary, to make announcements.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. All guests must stand and remain standing immediately after the Speaker has adjourned the House. The procession will leave the marquee, followed by members of the Executive Council and members of the Legislature. All invited guests should resume their seats and thereafter leave the venue through the exits on my left and on my right, commencing from the very front row and moving towards the back. Honorable members and guests will have lunch in the marquee behind the chamber. Members of the public are to remain seated until they are requested to leave the chamber, as they will receive their lunch packs when they exit the chamber. Officials, media, SAPS, drivers and protectors will have their lunch where Amabuto had their lunch yesterday. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I want first to do the acknowledgement to the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Artim Tembu, the former President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency J.G. Zuma, the Honorable Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture in the Republic, Honorable N.M. Tetwa, the Honorable Deputy Minister for Social Development, Honorable H. Buhopa Zulu, the Deputy Minister of Trade, the Honorable Ngina, the Deputy Minister of Health and former member of this House, Dr. S. Dlomo, members of the Provincial Executive Council of KwaZulu Natal, members of the KZN Legislature, the Honorable Judge Khadebe, who is representing the Judge President, members of the Diplomatic Corps that are present, Councillor Tebola, the Mayor of Umsunduzi, our host city, Councillor Kawunda, the Mayor of the Metro, Councillor Ngubane, who is the KZN Salka representative in the NCOP, permanent delegates of the KwaZulu Natal Legislature to the NCOP, all district and local mayors and speakers, Inkosi R.S. Shinga, chairperson of the Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Abantwana Basendlunkulu, Ms. N. Naidu, the Secretary of the Legislature,
Dr. N.O. Mkhize, Director General of KwaZulu-Natal, Lieutenant General Mkwanazi, the Provincial Commissioner, all head of departments and state entities of KwaZulu-Natal, distinguished guests, the family of the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, all media houses present, ladies and gentlemen, you are all acknowledged. Honorable members, I don't know what the secretary is doing now. Honorable members and guests, I now take this opportunity to thank you for having been part of our sitting today where SOPA was delivered. The House is now adjourned until Tuesday, 28 February 2023 at 10 o'clock for the debate on the State of the Province Address, which will take place at our legislature chamber at 239 Langanibalele Street in the city of Choice. The House is adjourned. Sergeant in arms, the House is adjourned.
Order, Madam Speaker.